You're gonna see this shirt a lot. Hello, and welcome to another roulette video. This time we're gonna spin for book. Basically, the backstory is that I have a lot of knitting and crochet pattern books. I realized not that long ago that I haven't actually made things from a lot of these books. So in an effort to do that, I've decided to put all of the book titles that I have into a spinning wheel, one for crochet and one for knitting. Spin the wheel, get a book, read it, make something from it, and then decide at the end if I want to keep that book or not. So let's spin for book. In the last video, we spun for a knitting book. This video, to make it fair, we're gonna spin for a crochet book. Let's spin. I don't know why the sound is off. Ring! Mini Kingdom. This is Mini Kingdom by Olka Nowiska Aradia Toys. And I know I butchered that, and I'm so sorry. This is such a throwback, actually. I've had this for years, literally. Never made anything with it. So, oh boy. Copyright 2020. This book has so many cute little figures. The interesting thing is that they're all supposed to be made with crochet thread. Back-to-back crochet thread videos. Slay! I wanted to read this little intro into the book. It's so cute. First of all, it says, "Welcome to the Mini Kingdom," and it gives this whole little imagined world. The king and the queen are throwing a big crochet feast. The drummer announces the event to the whole land. The astronomer knew you were coming. Of course, it was written in the crochet constellation. It goes on. It just sets up this cute little world. It totally draws me in. Make and explore this bustling little kingdom. Each mini stays upright on its own, and when made with the suggested yarn, it fits into a tiny hand, so the mini kingdom is perfect for playful little dreamers. You can swap the hair pieces and hats of the figures as you wish, so you can create even more unique characters for your very own amigurumi realm. That's so cute. Ugh. Obviously, I bought this book for my daughter because I started crocheting amigurumi for her so I could make her little stuffies. That is so cute. I think my ambitious goal when I bought this book was to crochet every single one of these so that she could have her own little mini kingdom. And I never did that. I never made a single one. Seems like a lot of work. Oh, the dragon. There's a dragon. She would love a little dragon. Okay, the only issue with the dragon is that it has angry little eyebrows, so I would have to change the eyebrows. She doesn't like it when dragons are misrepresented. They're not all angry. There's a joker, an astronomer. He looks like a little wizard. That's cute. A chef, a king, a queen, a princess, a prince, a knight, a dragon. Oh, there's little lambs. Oh my god. That is so cute. If I made one for myself, I would make a lamb, obviously. I mean, I guess I could make one for myself. It's not all about her all the time. Oh, cute. Wow, oh my god. Oh my god, that is so teeny tiny. There's teeny tiny potted plants and a little butterfly fairy creature. Wow, there's a fairy. It's a butterfly. That's so cute. Milk lady and cow. Wizard, officially. And a little witch. Trade girl. Robber. Oh, it looks like Robin Hood. Some of these are definitely like obviously supposed to be specific things, but for copyright reasons, they had to be named something else. Like Robert. There's a beehive. That's adorable. And little bees. I'm gonna have to think of my creative purpose here. What the point of making one of these would be. If I want to make something for her to play with, or just a little trinket for her shelf, or just a little trinket for me, for my shelf, something. I need to think about this and pick one because they're all really, really cute. And like I said before, it would be so cute to make every single one of these and have like a little mini kingdom for my daughter to play with. That's so cute. I know she's 9, but still she loves calico critters. She has a big doll house that she likes to play calico critters in, so I do think she would still get some use out of these. They're just so stinking cute. No matter which one I make, there's still the issue of crochet thread, which I do have. You saw that in the last video. I do have crochet thread. However, I don't have very many colors and I don't have a skin tone. I don't even think I have a brown. Okay, these are my only potential skin tone options, which I don't love. I would rather have more like diversity than this. The pink is crazy, I know that. So if I make one of these little characters, oh, I actually just noticed that there really isn't much diversity in this book. All the skin tones are light, which I don't love. Interesting. Let me look online and see where I can buy more crochet thread. Originally, I bought it at Hobby Lobby, but enough said about that. So I need to find where I can buy more crochet thread and see if I can buy like a skin tone pack. I know I'm not supposed to be buying yarn, but I don't know. I just don't love the lack of diversity. Crochet thread, size 10. I guess I'll go to Michael's. Oh, I think Michael's does have some. Aha. Michael's does have crochet thread. And they have a variegated one, which I don't need, but is cute. Okay, let's try to see what kind of colors they have. Oh, they're out of a lot of them. They really don't have very many brown options. There's an online only option for sets. There's one set for $21 that has like a brown and then like a tan color. And it also has like Christmas green and red, which I don't know how I feel about that. And it's $22. I would rather buy a kit with smaller quantities. I don't need full-size spools of this. I would rather buy a kit with smaller quantities, which I know that they have at Hobby Lobby, but I don't want to buy it from them. I want to buy it from somewhere else. So irritating. Why doesn't everyone have a kit like that? What the heck? Okay, let me try Googling crochet thread kit. Oh, this is so irritating. Yeah, Hobby Lobby has a fantastic one for $19 with frickin', oh my God, it comes with so many colors. Bro, where is a different one of these? This is insane. Ooh, okay. Does it count if I buy it from eBay? From like somebody that just doesn't want it anymore? There is one, $21. Okay, listen, I'm torn. I'm torn between I'm really not trying to buy more yarn, but also I don't have very many colors, and I especially don't have the type of skin tones that I would really like to create. But I think I'm gonna make one with the yarn I already have. And then if I really like it, or if my daughter really likes it, then I'll look online for more color options. I think that's my plan. I really am not supposed to be buying more yarn. This is me checking myself, okay? I'm sorry. Of course I'm leaning towards the dragon. Of course. I think I'm gonna gather up all of my colors that I have and go from there. Based on my colors, I'll pick a little figure, I think. I feel good about that. Okay, good news. I do have 2 greens. The dragon was made in 2 greens, so the dragon is like a hot contender right now, not gonna lie. Okay, I've gathered up all my yarns. I'm gonna show them to you in sets. Maroon, hot pink, light pink, yellow, mustardy yellow, and gold. This is definitely thinner, but it has gold sequins, and it might just be like a fun accent detail. I also have the same thing in silver. White and cream, olive green, green, and teal, and 2 purples. These are all of the colors that I have. Dragon is page 62. Cream, peach. I think I'll have the right colors to make the dragon, and my daughter would love that. She loves dragons. So I think I might make that. It says I will need 5 colors, leftover of light red. For what? Oh, for blush? Anyways. It says I will need cream, peach, light green, green, and leftover of light red, which I think is pink, and I think it's for the blush on the cheeks. And I'll need a 2mm crochet hook and safety eyes. Okay, let's assemble. Teeny crochet hook, teeny crochet hook. I have my teeny tiny crochet hook. I'm so glad I bought this Susan Bates size check. What's it called? Knit check. I'm so glad that I bought this needle and hook size checker, because this is vintage and it doesn't have any sizes written on it. It just says boys. and then the number 8. Anyways, it's a 2mm. I know that because I checked it. So this is fantastic. So that's very lucky. Was this supposed to be a B? No, it's an 8. Anyways, so with amigurumi, you make all the little parts I mean, there are no sew patterns, but typically you make all the little parts separately and then sew them together at the end. In this pattern, we start with the head in light green yarn. So let's do it. Whenever I do, let me show you what I have so far. Wow, that's 2 rounds. Whenever I do magic loop, I always pull it tight, tie a couple knots to try to prevent it from the hole from opening again, and then I'll weave it through several times. Sometimes I'll even tuck it to the front and use it as like a stitch marker, a beginning of round stitch marker, and then just weave it back through after. I love magic loop, but I don't like that it can come undone if you don't secure it properly. So that's what the knots and the weaving is for. So just a little PSA, I guess. Okay, round 3. A lot of increases. I've crocheted with this thread before, but it was for a tapestry, like a mini tapestry. And then you saw me knit with this crochet thread for a tapestry. But I've never tried to make amigurumi with this crochet thread. We're gonna see how that goes. I might only be able to work on this in the daytime because it's so teeny tiny. I need like a magnifying glass or something. Oh my gosh, you know what I just thought of that I can't believe I didn't think of sooner? I haven't weighed any of this. Not really a stash video if I don't weigh any of it. Not to worry, I've only done this so far and it's all been in one color. That blue is just my stitch marker. So I'll be able to weigh this cone with its little green hat on and it will be totally fine. That's a valid way to weigh yarn. I have a spreadsheet where I document all of the yarn and the yarn weight and the fiber type and blah, blah, blah for my whole stash. So far, I've only done 5 of these shelves, 6 including the sock shelf, which I made its own tab. And I have 2 choices for how I want to catalog the crochet thread. Obviously, I could do it by color. Each color has its own separate spreadsheet. I could do that. I think I'm leaning more towards making its own spreadsheet for just the crochet thread, mostly because I use it together. I don't use it with any other type of yarn, only with crochet thread. So I think it makes more sense to just have a separate tab for the crochet thread. We'll see if that works. I can't picture a scenario right now where I would use it in conjunction with another yarn, but if it's not working, I'll just put it in the other spreadsheets, I guess. But it's time to find out how much crochet thread I actually have. Obviously, I know that there's a cardboard tube in the middle of all these spools, and that is a contributing factor to how much it weighs. There's nothing I can do about that. I don't know how much it weighs, and even if I did, it's like, once I use up all the crochet thread, I'll just recycle the cardboard. In total, so far, I have 1,100 grams of crochet thread. I think I got all the colors. I can't believe I forgot to weigh the yarn. Now I know, and I can get back to the dragon head. Progress so far, so small. Okay, I've come to the point where I need to add safety eyes. However, this is the smallest safety eye that I have. There is just, oh, phew. There is just no way that this is going to fit between these tiny stitches. There actually is no way. It's too big, which is crazy. That's okay. Plan B is to embroider eyes. I'll probably do like a French knot, and that's how I'll do the eyeball later. The nice thing actually about embroidering eyes is that you get to sew the head on first before you put any facial features on. I have a habit of accidentally like turning the head a little when I sew it on, and then everything is turned. So it is kind of nice to sew everything together first and then do the embroidery. Plus that way there's no age restriction on the little toy. It's not recommended to use safety eyes for toys that are going to be used by children 3 and under. So if I embroider it, then I know my daughter's 9 now, but she has a lot of younger cousins. So if I embroider the features, then they could be passed on to them and I won't kill them. Okay, so we don't have to worry about eyes. I just get to keep working. Wow. I knew this pattern was professional. I didn't realize quite to what extent. My first hint was that when you're creating a sphere shape in crochet amigurumi, it's usually single crochets followed by an increase all the way around, increasing the number of single crochets in each subsequent round until you get to the widest part of the circle, and then it is the opposite for decreases. So it'll be increase in every stitch, one single crochet increase, two single crochet increase, three increase, four increase, like that. Really basic way of crocheting a sphere. The only downside to doing it like that is that sometimes it will make clear panels and it gives it more of like a hexagonal shape, not perfectly round. It's not very noticeable, so you can, and I actually prefer to do it that way because then I don't have to count. You just always put an increase in the second stitch of the previous row's increase, so it's really easy to keep track. Anyways, if you truly want to make like a perfect sphere, you have to offset when you're starting the round, basically, so that all your increases aren't lined up straight on top of each other. So instead of single crochet increase all the way around, you might do single crochet increase. You have to offset the beginning of the round if you want like a perfect sphere. I'm not sure if this is making sense, but anyways, this pattern does that. It offsets the beginning of the round so that the increases are dispersed throughout the sphere, so it ends up basically perfectly round. Because of that, I was like, oh, this pattern is for real. They're taking their sphere seriously. But then there was this funny little back loop only round right at the beginning of making the head that I was like, what is this for? Why is there a round of back loop only? Interesting. It was right at the beginning, and then you finish making the sphere and tie it off. Usually you're starting at the top of the head, and when you tie it off is then the bottom of the head. Then the first instruction for making the body is to pick up and single crochet in the front loops of the stitches that was just the back, where you crochet into the back loops, it leaves the front loops available. So it was to pick up and crochet in those front loops, and that's how you, and then continue crocheting, and that's the body. That's how you attach the body to the head. That's where you start crocheting from to crochet the body. Oh, so you're professional. So you're doing stuff I've never even heard of before. That's crazy. We love to see it. So actually what I thought was the top of the head with the back loops, that's actually the bottom of the head because we're making the body off of that. How interesting. That's crazy. I'm actually really impressed. I'm just impressed. I think this is so creative, like ingenious actually. And I don't really like to sew, and amigurumi is a lot of sewing. So it's just nice to eliminate one step of sewing. Crochet the body onto the head. It's genius. Just had to tell you about that. I quite literally just started doing it. I'm like 7 single crochets into doing it, and I was like, I gotta let my girls know about this one. This is crazy. Kudos to Olka. She knows what she's doing. Folks, she is at it again, okay? We did another round of back loop only. And I was thinking that's so the bottom can lay flat. Double action here because we're about to do something else with it. I don't know what, but we're about to pick up a loop in a back loop. Well, a front loop. You know what I mean. We're about to pick up a loop and keep going. I don't know why. So I'll tell you later. But I'm excited. I love this. Ingenious. It was for a little lip at the bottom of the foot to, I'm assuming, give some height compensation for like if it puckers at the bottom. But now it has this little lip around it to help it stand. Oh, that's nice. Remember it was wobbly before? Not now. she's solid. I know it looks insane with all my little ends, but I don't like to chop them until the very end. So my microphone, I hate wearing shirts that are my size. I just don't love it because the fit's not great. I didn't notice that the fabric was buckling. Oh, maybe I just need better posture. I didn't notice that the fabric was buckling. Hopefully the microphone is not being scratched on. If it is, I'm so sorry. Anyways, there's a lot of ends on this little guy. I don't like to chop them until the very end because sometimes it's nice to have another little tail if you're sewing an arm in or a tail on or something like that. It's nice to have something to tie a knot with sometimes. I also use yarn as stitch markers. I just find it really easy and it doesn't get in the way and it doesn't distort the size of the stitches. So I leave those in until the end too, because sometimes you need to align things with the beginning of the round and I know where that is. So anyways, let's make some arms. Okay, we have arms and snout. Now we have changed color from this green to this green. I'm working on a wing, but I have to change color. It says change color to peach. That threw me off a little bit. So his belly and the tip of his wings, does that look peach? Doesn't look like peach to me. It looks yellow. Am I crazy? Okay, the lighting's bad, but his little blush and the belly patch are two different colors, like in the photo. And the blush is definitely pink. And the belly patch doesn't look very pink. So I'm making an executive decision to go with yellow, right? I just have to decide which yellow. I'm so partial to the mustard. I'm gonna go mustard. I mean, this is cute, obviously, but I'm feeling mustard. I think mostly because it kind of looks like gold. This pattern is crazy, by the way. I've never experienced anything like this. Turn the work 90 degrees. That was like both mesmerizing and insane. That's crazy. It does look good. Now I have to make two. Oh, that was the left one. Wow, there's reverse instructions for the right one. I've almost finished crocheting all the teeny tiny little dragon pieces. I just need to make the horns, which is in a different color, ivory or cream or whatever. And where did I put you? I'm gonna use this to make the little horns. And then after I make the horns, all that's left is assembly, which means sewing, sewing, sewing. Which is gonna be awesome. I do wanna say that the ears, incredible construction. I continue to be impressed with just how everything is made. It's so good. All right, horns. Here we go. Horn time. Folks, we're close. We are so close to finishing this tiny dragon. You'll notice though, he's got pins for eyes. That's because sewing on the eyes is my least favorite part. I didn't have safety eyes small enough. Wish I could leave these pins in forever, but danger. Pricked myself several times. Gotta do the eyes. Sometimes I just single crochet 4 or 6 or something in a magic ring and pull it tight and that makes a little circle. I might try that. Sometimes I just tie some knots, like over and over, one big knot, and use that as an eye. I wish I even had like a little black bead. That might work. Regardless, I'm going to do the eyes now. And then I think there's a couple little embroidery things like eyebrows and nostrils. I don't want to talk about the snout. So, time for eyeballs. First, I need black thread. Okay, we've made it. And by we, I mean mostly me through these trials. I'm always grateful for this YouTube channel, partly because it motivates me to actually finish things. Lord knows when I would have finished this micro crochet amigurumi if I wasn't thinking about how I need to finish this video. So, thank you. Thanks for watching and cheering me on. Here he is, though. I'll show you. Oh, bless him. So cute, actually. And you know who's gonna love this? My dragon-obsessed daughter. What to say about this little gem? You'll notice one of his arms is raised. He's saying, hey guys. Total accident. Don't even know how that happened. Just sewed both arms on the same way and one's up and one's down. Actually, that happens to me a lot. Don't know why. I think the eyes are fine. I single crocheted 5 in a magic circle, pulled it tight, then picked up the back loop of all the single crochets and pulled that tight, so it kind of made it into a little orb. Then I sewed it on. So I've never done that before, I don't think. But it just was about the size of a pinhead. And I really liked that. Oh, there he goes. Also, by my daughter's earlier request, no angry eyebrows allowed. Dragons are good and kind creatures. We are living in that fantasy as well. We gotta talk about the snout. I completely sewed it on crooked, and I was worried about the nostrils, making that even more apparent. But actually, I think the nostrils really saved it. The nostrils make it not so noticeable, I think. Also, I forgot to tell you, the eyes, I just use embroidery thread because turns out I don't have one of these crochet 10 thread cone things in black. So I just used embroidery thread. It was 6 strands of thread together and I split it in half. So it was 3 strands. Let's talk about yarn usage. We started with 94 grams of mustard yellow. Now we have 93 grams. You guys are gonna love this. We started with 92 grams of this green color. And now we have 91 grams. Then we started with 76 grams of this olive green. And now we have 69 grams. And then the cream color, we started with 44 grams. Now we have 44 grams. Okay, period. This one is getting so low. Actually, I wonder how much the core weighs. That's what we'll find out when we get to the center of this little Tootsie Pop. Okay, so if you're doing the math, so am I. That's 9 grams of yarn out of my stash. And weeks worth of work. Hard to believe. Wow. He weighs 16 grams. So most of him is stuffing. That brings our thread total down from 1,107 to 1,098. So that's 9 grams gone. Whatever. Really the point of this video was this book. To actually make something from this book and then to figure out if I want to keep it or donate it. Now here's the thing. I am so impressed with the author, Olga Noviska Aradiatois. Okay, we're like this. She's a genius. I don't know, Olga. Is there a picture in the back? Oh, okay. So we've just learned together at the same time that Aradia Toys is in fact the name of her brand, not her last name. So her name is just Olga Novitska. That makes more sense. Anyways, genius, okay? Just the way that things are constructed in this book, I haven't even unlocked the total goodness in here. So because of the construction and all the genius tips and tricks of how to make amigurumi in this book, I'm keeping it because I do want to know all of those wonders. Will I ever make a teeny tiny crochet thread amigurumi again? I don't know. I don't know. I don't really want to, but I can almost guarantee you that my daughter is going to be begging for more little characters as soon as I hand over this little dragon. This is the cutest thing in the world. Can you imagine a whole village of these things? It would take a year, but it would be incredible. But also, my color palette is super limited as is. I have I have like a earth tone rainbow, kind of, but I don't have any skin tones, certainly not diverse skin tones. So if I were to make any human creatures from this book, I would have to stock up on more crochet thread, which I have been looking at local secondhand stores like Value Village and Goodwill, etc. So I think that could be an option for if I need to get skin tones for this. The only other colors after that I'm missing are more of like true blues instead of like a teal, and orange, I guess, but I don't really care about orange that much. And that really doesn't matter. I do see myself using worsted weight yarn to create some of these little things. Of course, they're going to be bigger, but even just like a DK weight or a fingering weight would be so much easier than thread. A little tough on the eyeballs, a little tough on the hands, okay? This is not something that I could continuously do forever. I think I would die. In any case, it's a keep. I'm keeping it. It's just genius and commercially available. You know what I mean? You can get this book from somewhere, and I think you should. For a while, it was in like big box craft stores. I kept seeing it, and that's why I bought it. I think I bought it from like Michael's or Joann's or something like that. Maybe they still have it there. I have seen it in bookstores before. It's pretty like eye-catching, and it's friggin' good. So if you're interested in a little teeny tiny character mini kingdom set, maybe you should pick this book up. Alternatively, like I said, you can always make these in a bigger weight if crochet thread is like not for you, like it's pretty much not for me. So, oh, if I'm keeping the books, maybe I should rank them. Okay, I'm gonna rank the books, probably just out of 5 to keep it simple. The last book that I did in this series, you should check it out if you'd like to. It was a medieval needlework book. I would probably give that book 3 stars, just medium, okay? Very nice medium. Non-derogatory, 3 stars. I really enjoyed reading about it, and it has some great things in it. I don't know how much I'm actually going to use it. I was kind of on the fence about keeping it just because the colorwork needlepoint tapestries are huge. So it's like, I don't actually know if I'm going to make another thing from that book, but still very informative, and I really enjoyed reading about it and medieval art history, etc. So 3 stars. Okay, Mini Kingdom by Olka Novitska. This is crazy of me. I'm gonna say 5 stars. I don't give it lightly, okay? How many patterns are in this thing? There's 36 different patterns in here. Very creative and a very full-bodied Mini Kingdom. You have some classics, a king and a queen, 3 princesses, 4, just kidding, 4, loosely based on your favorite movies. So we have obviously the royal family. We've got some heroines, some heroes. We also have a pretty rounded out cast of characters with the wizard and the witch, the beekeeper, the trade girl, thief, robber, milk lady, shepherdess, chef, astronomer, drummer boy, joker, and then a couple cutie little accessories like a butterfly and a bee and a beehive and whatever a gerbera is. And it truly is like a mini kingdom. And if you made all of these, your kid or whoever, would just have hours of open-ended play, which I love. The techniques we used in here are actually incredible. And, oh my God, it's so extensive, the knowledge in this book. I was sewing something on, and there was a recommendation to use the mattress stitch, which I've used in knitting, but I'm not sure that I had associated it with a crochet skill. It referenced a page number for the mattress stitch, and turns out every intro technique, you know, at the beginning of a book, it kind of tells you how they do a single crochet, etc. There's QR codes for every technique and a little website that you can visit. I did visit it. I watched the video on it because sometimes you just need a little video. Watch the video, so helpful. I'm convinced, even though it would be so difficult, somebody could probably learn to crochet with this book. I don't know. You probably could. It's incredible. Pray for me that I have the mental fortitude to make more characters. Anyways, 5 stars. Great book. Olka, you did a great job. You're a genius and a wizard within your own right. I bet you anything, as soon as I give this to my daughter, she's going to want a purple one. A little bit bummed I didn't just make it purple in the first place. What was I thinking? But she's been begging me for the past 2 weeks to actually finish this little dragon, so I'm really excited to give it to her. I don't even know how many total books that I have. I think I have about 45 books, approximately. And this is 2 out of maybe 45. So there will be plenty more videos left in this series. If you're liking this book series, give it a like, maybe give it a subscribe, maybe leave me a little comment that says, hey buddy, worried about your eyesight. I don't know, whatever you want. I love to read your comments and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.